sounds like.
If you're really keen on the Madison scene, wanna get up and go to the latest show, theater, dance, music and arts. If you wanna be in the know, show Biz Buzz with Bruno, a singer, an author or a playwright, a dancer or an actor in the spotlight, artists, poets, comedians too. Look at all the things Bruno has for you. If you're really keen on the Madison scene, wanna get up and go to the latest show, theater, dance, music and arts. If you wanna be in the know, show Biz Buzz with Bruno.
Showbiz Buzz with Bruno is presented by madstheater.com. And I've got a lot to say.
Presented by Mads Theater. Theater.com. That's me.
Hello and welcome to Showbiz Buzz with Bruno. We're back. Always presented by the wonderful madstheater.com. And thank you for Gin Chocolate Bottle Rockets for our new fabulous introductory song.
Yay.
And today we are here with the lovely and talented Hannah Nice to talk about Groundlings Theater, which is celebrating their 1-year anniversary with their upcoming production of The Importance of Being Earnest.
I like
Welcome.
that voice. Thank you. I like that voice. That was a good voice.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. That's my audition piece. Right?
There you go. Cast.
So, first of all, for people that don't know about your wonderfulness and how your greatness and your rising star, tell us a little bit about yourself and what your past history has been.
Well, oh boy. I'm a double major in English and Theater Studies at Wellesley College several years ago now, which means I'm twice as unemployable, which is really great. I have been doing theater in the Madison area for about 3 or 4 years now, and I started getting into theater when I was a wee lass. I was 6 years old. I was taken to a production of The Merry Wives of Windsor at APT, and the guy who was playing Falstaff was very lovely. There was an interactive piece in the show. He jumped down into the audience, sat on my lap, and started making fun of me in one of the scenes, and I was like, whoa, this is so cool, I love this. And for every show I ever went to for the next 2 years, I thought that I was going to be interacted with all the time. I was like, why am I not a part of the show? This is disappointing. So that's where it all went bad. That's how it all began.
No, that's where it all went good. Now, you also worked with, was it Playtime Productions?
Yeah.
I think that's when I first was aware of you, was Playtime Productions. And then you were a lovely young thing, young lass, when we did The 8.
Yes, I was like 10 or 11. I was in about 30 seconds of that play. I was like one of the commercial children who was like, Mommy, I had to learn about gay people at school. That was really distressing. And I was like, okay, sure. That's the character, I guess. But
and it
yeah.
was acting, because
Yes.
we didn't feel that way.
No.
Of course not.
No, I'm an actor.
That's right.
We act, as they say.
So
yes.
now, fast forward, and now you have headed up this wonderful new program, theater, in Wanakee. The
Yeah.
only Wanakee in the world.
Oh, there's one
So,
in Tennessee, I think.
Is there one in Tennessee?
Yeah.
Really?
Uh-huh.
Well, then they can no longer say one only Wanakee in the
No,
world.
I found that out when I was 16 and edgy, and I was like, it's all a lie.
Oh, no. Bullshit.
Bullshit, as they say. Yeah.
Thank you, Poker Face. That was a shout out to Natasha. So tell us, how did the Groundlings come about? How
Yeah.
did that start?
So after college, I graduated in 2021, so it was very much like post-quarantine COVID, and nobody was really doing internships or programs for young directors at that time, which was understandable because, we're coming out of theaters aren't making any money at all. Nobody really wanted to use money on people who weren't really producing anything productive for companies, but I was kind of like, hey guys, I'd like a job, please. And everybody was like, no, you can't have one. So I was getting really annoyed and frustrated. And eventually I ended up talking to Jake Penner, who's a really great guy. I just started venting out my soul to him. And we were on the phone and he goes, well, why don't you just make your own sandbox? Why do you need to be hired by somebody else? And in my head, I went, so I can make money, Jake. But oh well. So I just kind of went for it, I was like, fine, okay. I had one of those, fine, I'll do it myself moments, and started just making audition flyers for A Midsummer Night's Dream, which I'm really familiar with. I've directed before in college, and was, I guess, really just surprised by how many people were interested in it in Wanakee. There's really no performing arts for adults there. Hasn't been for several decades, but now we're here.
And is there a children's theater there?
There's, school theater.
Oh, school theater. Okay,
Yeah,
gotcha.
that's pretty much it.
Gotcha. And where did you do the first production? Was it in like somebody's barn?
Yeah, it was at Schumacher Farm Park,
Yeah.
Historic barn off of the highway, and it was a really lovely venue, very historic, and it was made of stone, so it was very cool in the summer, which was great, but we were the victims of the weather a lot of the time. We kept losing rehearsals to tornadoes.
Oh, nice.
And eventually we lost a whole performance to a tornado.
You should have been doing The Wizard of Oz. You would have had special effects all ready for you. It would have been awesome.
The performance rights, Michael, the performance rights, they're so expensive. Yeah, no, it was great. We were like at 4:00 that afternoon looking at the weather forecast going, ooh, we're going to be on an exposed hilltop in a barn. This doesn't seem like a good idea. Everybody was very sad and crying, like, are you sure? Are you sure? Because it was so sunny and bright until about 6:00. And we're just sitting there watching the sky and we're like, please rain, please rain, please rain. And then it was like the worst tornado we've ever had in a while. We went back the next morning and everything was completely destroyed outside the barn. We had to put down like 4 bales of hay just to soak up all the mud. But the moment those first raindrops hit, I felt so vindicated. I was like, thank you, thank you.
So now you know what APT feels like.
Yes. Yeah. Like very small scale, but yes. Yeah. So now we're in a building with doors that work.
So, and tell us a little more about how did you get involved with this building? How did this come into your lap?
Yeah. So, long story, give you the short version. We have a arts nonprofit in Wanakee that's mostly like physical 2D art called Create Wanakee, and we'd kind of been circling each other for about 6 months, kind of trying to slyly join up with each other. It eventually happened, and at that time they had arranged a deal with a local church in town to have some office space there. They had, a big stage, and I guess they were very interested in having a show there to do some kind of community outreach and just get more interest in people coming in there for secular reasons, I guess. But yeah, it's a very nice space.
And then this is your home base now, then, right?
Right now, yeah.
And how many performances do you plan on doing there in a year?
I don't know. 2 to 3.
Good
Yeah.
for you. Good answer. Good answer.
We have 2 scheduled right now.
So you are going to be currently in rehearsals for Ernest.
Yes.
So tell me a little bit about this production.
So it's 1919. It's set in 1919 as opposed to the 1890s because it's kind of the whole point of Ernest. And I wrote a very long and tragic director's note about it. I was really struggling with it for several hours as I was trying to sit there and go, what does this all mean, really? And the answer I eventually came up with was that it means nothing. And that's justified in a very literary sense because it was kind of a hallmark piece of the movement of aestheticism, which was about art for art's sake. It doesn't matter if there's a meaning. We're not here to learn about morals. Just, is it pretty? And 1919 is kind of going into the roaring 20s, Gilded Age, very extravagant and opulent kind of moment. So it fit historically, but there's also like World War I just happened and a bunch of people died, darkness underneath there. So there's that.
And where's it set in? Where's it set in? Oh, so you did not take it out and put it in Waukesha or something.
We tried. I thought for a really long time about making it like a New York piece, but the satire doesn't really work if it's outside of London, unfortunately. You have to make it everybody's like a senator or something, and it felt like I was working too hard against what the show wanted to be, and I should just chill out and let it be what it was.
So now, obviously, you're like the founder and creator of the show. Are
Yeah.
there other people that the company has in its employ?
Well, we don't employ anybody.
Oh,
we don't have enough money.
That are working for nothing.
Yeah. Other people who are working for the low cost of $0
Very
include
nice.
my mother, who's sitting right there. Hi, Mom. She's the executive producer. I also have a couple of people who have been with us for a few shows. Anna Meffert is our costumer, which is fun because we were really good friends in high school. So now we're kind of playing together again, which is very nice. It's kind of functioning on who's available at the moment, who's interested, kind of a rotating group of people.
Cool. And it is a nonprofit 501c3?
We are under the umbrella of a nonprofit 501c3.
You are under the umbrella.
Yes.
You like being under the umbrella, especially if
do.
there's a tornado or something.
Yes. I like having an umbrella. Yes.
Cool. And so when do you open?
Don't ask me that. In 6 days, Michael, on Friday.
In 6 days.
I'm afraid.
Okay. Well, is it up there? No, it isn't up there. There's no date.
July
on
11th through
there.
13th. Come see us.
Cool. And how do people get tickets?
There is if you go to the Create Wanakee website, there's a link to a constant contact page where you can purchase tickets, and it just sounds like I said a bunch of nonsense words. But, if you go to Poob and you use your Zeffy and you get locked in and all that, you can get a ticket.
Use the password. Yuck, 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 yuck.
Yes, exactly.
Cool. And how much are tickets?
$5.
For anybody. Everybody's $5.
Everybody is $5, yes.
That's very egalitarian of you. I love that.
That's the point. Yes.
That's how we throw those little things in there. We do our homework, right?
Yes.
So tell me about your cast. Who's in this wonderful cast besides the wonderful Molly, who I adore?
Molly's really fabulous. I have a really great group of people, a lot of them from the Madison area. John Klinkenberg is playing Algernon. I have Wyatt Clement as John. Maddie O'Keefe, who's done a lot of stuff with Madison Shakespeare Company. Cass Punzel is fabulous. She's a Wanakee person and involved with Create Wanakee, so it's nice to get some hometown rep. Josh Gibbons, also a Madison Shakespeare Company guy. There's Kamaria McGinn. She goes to school in Ohio, I believe. She's home for the summer. She's really great. Y'all gonna see her in a couple years.
Nice.
So I feel very lucky. I've got a lot of fabulous people.
And were these all people that just happened to come in and audition or did you ask people to come in, please audition for the show, please audition for the show?
Like 6 out of 7 of them just kind of showed up.
Isn't that nice?
Yeah.
That's cool.
And I knew Molly from working on A House Not Meant to Stand at the Bartell a couple months ago, so I did kind of hunt her down and go, hey, please.
And are you doing any cross-gendering in the roles at all?
No.
Okay. There have been productions
Yeah.
that have been
A lot of people will do Lady Bracknell in drag. Yeah.
That's just one of those, panto kind of things. But Molly, Molly can do anything. She could read me the phone books that don't exist anymore.
Honestly, she could.
And I would sit in like her and Sarah Day. In fact, I'm going to put Molly and Sarah Day together.
Yeah.
And just listen to the conversations the two of them.
I think that they would have fun doing
very
that.
cool.
Yeah.
So tell me about the process of directing for you. So, number one, when did you decide you wanted to do Ernest? And how did you come about changing it and putting it into the 1900s?
Okay. Well, there's a lot of lore to this question, so I'll try and keep it super
we got
brief.
plenty of time for lore.
I think, I don't think I decided that we were going to do this show until, I want to say February. I'm usually looking for stuff that's in the public domain because we are very grassroots at this point in time. And honestly, the reason I chose the play is because the world is a dumpster fire and I really needed a laugh.
Good answer.
Yeah.
Very good answer.
I was like, what can I direct and have a lot of fun doing it and just kind of have some escapism for myself. Yeah. As a director, I think I'm very text-based, which a lot of people say, but I actually am. Like, I sit there with my dictionary and I go, what are all these references? I don't know. I'm kind of my own dramaturg in a way, which is fun, but a lot of work.
Are you a big stickler for the written word? I mean,
Yes.
Do your actors have to say it as it's written?
Yes. It was written that way for a reason.
I'm liking the answers so far.
What am I going to do?
I haven't had to say bullshit except that one time that wasn't about you.
What am I going to do? Edit Oscar Wilde?
No, well, yeah, but how I've worked with many directors that are like, as long as it's somewhat there, we'll let you slide. And it's like, no, that's
No.
unless you wrote the piece and you want to make some sudden changes, then that's the authors and the playwrights'
Yeah.
work. That's the work that you're supposed to be portraying here.
I think if you're going to make any serious edits, you have to do it very deliberately. Like, I did a production of A Midsummer Night's Dream in college where I did get very gendery about it. There's like a traditional double casting of Titania with Hippolyta and Oberon with Theseus, and I was like, no, don't like it. We double casting Theseus and Hippolyta and Titania and... Wait, no, we double casting it the other way. Theseus and Titania and Hippolyta and Oberon. And also, Helena was a man in that production. It turned very gay. It was great.
Cool.
It was a great time.
Love that.
It was an all-women's college, so I could really just be like, heh.
So we're going to go back in time to a little bit of when you were actually looking for work outside of the grand state of Wisconsin. Tell me about some of your experiences that you had with some of these wonderful companies that you got there and were like, oh my gay God, what am I doing here?
You learned about, okay, I'll remove names because I don't want to be on anybody's hit list, but one company I went to in Tennessee, I'd gotten a job as like a production assistant there. I rolled up and I got to the theater. There was like one gay person there, and they said, hey, you're going to see more KKK flags than you've ever seen in your entire life.
Nice.
And I was like, hello? So I was asking around the theater, on my first day, what do you guys do for fun around here? And they were like, nothing. We don't do anything. And, it was 2022, so everybody was still really worried about quarantining. And they were like, and you're going to share rooms with a lady you've never met before. I never even learned her name. I got in the car. My mother was there. She had driven down. We did a road trip, and I just started bawling. I was like, I can't stay here. The KKK is gonna get me. And I don't even like barbecue. And it was Tennessee. So she opens her phone. She's been doing I don't know what for the last 4 hours, and she goes, Hannah, I bought you a plane ticket home. You're not staying here. And I was like, thank you.
Now that's a play in itself, right there.
Yeah.
When you want to transition from directing to authoring, being a playwright, that could be a very, very, very interesting play that you do. The trials and tribulations of working with the KKK or not working with the KKK. Oh my God,
dodging the KKK bullets. Yeah, no, every other job I took was pretty okay.
And where was that?
Barter Theater in Abingdon, Virginia was really cool. It's the oldest repertory theater in America. and they're called barter theater because back in the day, they, like in the Great Depression era, you could roll up to the theater with like some greens or a ham and get in.
I'm going to try that. Next time we go to APT, I'm going to bring a ham and some greens. And say,
Yeah, there you go.
So they still don't barter, do they? I mean, you can't.
No.
Like, you can't say I'll give you, two free meals at the IHOP if I can come in and give you tickets.
No, I'm
But
afraid not.
But they kept the name.
Yeah, and they got a regional Tony at one point, which I got to touch, which was really cool.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
cool. And what was were you a PA there?
Yeah, I was a PA. I worked on 4 or 5 shows in repertory, one of which was It's a Wonderful Life, which is just kind of the wheel has come full circle yet again. But that was also a little bit of a nightmare production because they originally had it planned to be one PA, which was just me doing the entire backstage.
Oh my Lord.
And then the director got it into his head that he didn't want to see any crew on stage. I don't know if you know this, but it's a lot harder to make it look like the crew's not there than to just accept that the crew is there. So I was like losing my mind every night until they finally got me some more people backstage.
Youch.
The run sheet for that show looked absolutely insane. It was like on page 21, hand off these 5 props, then run out of the way because somebody's got to come sprinting full tilt for an entrance 10 seconds after he exited on the other side of the stage. It was crazy.
So now, was this the radio play version of it?
No,
Or
this was
the
a
actual-
fully
the
staged.
fully staged production of it. Okay. I was going to say, because you're planning on hopefully doing, or you are going to be doing
Yeah.
the radio version, which is the people in a radio studio
Yeah.
doing it as a live version where you're actually seeing them do all the sound effects and you're seeing them do all the characterizations. So that's the one that we did in middle school, and that's the play that's coming up next. So will you then have... I'm assuming we talked about this earlier. You're having an organist playing all the organ music?
Yeah.
And then you'll have a sound effects person live on stage doing the sound effects?
That's the plan.
Cool.
Yeah.
And this will be in the same place that you're doing Ernest now, right? And is there a time schedule for that?
December 19th through the 21st.
Oh, a lovely holiday show. Beautiful.
Yes, I'm trying to ingratiate myself.
So, oh, well, speaking of being an amazing assistant and an amazing having person to be on stage in a penguin outfit.
Oh, no. Here we go.
I inadvertently fulfilled one of your fantasies, I hear, by letting you be in a penguin suit for the production of Patience.
That was a very wild experience. It was kind of funny. There were like 2 cast dropouts, and we were all sitting around like, who's going to do these 2 parts? And one of them was like the lead role, and I was like, I'm not doing that. But I'll be in the penguin onesie if you want. I sang classical music for nine years. I think I can handle a couple of group numbers. But yeah, that was very funny. It was really hot. It was a really hot penguin suit.
I can imagine how hot it was in there, yeah.
So, it's mid-August, and I'm just sitting backstage in my, like, shorts underneath there with the legs hiked all the way up so I can get a cool breeze every once in a while.
Well, we're sorely missing you and the penguin suit this year. I just have to tell you for our upcoming production of Iolanthe, because you would have made a lovely fairy.
Oh.
Which, of course, we would put you in a fairy outfit.
Oh. I don't know if you want to do that, Michael.
Oh,
I kind of have the, like, dying Victorian child vibe. Like, I look like I'm dying of tuberculosis or something.
You could be one of the punk fairies.
Okay.
We have punk fairies now.
Nice.
We have the forest fairies, and we have the punk fairies, and we have the glam fairies.
Nice.
Because you always got to have your glam fairies. So you are being sorely missed, but you have your own deal now, which I'm so proud of you.
Thanks.
To see how you've come since I met this sort of shy, kind of earnest girl who wanted to become in the theater.
Yes.
And of course your lovely moms, who I adore, met Muchly, one of who's in our studio audience right now. So what is there anything else that we have not touched upon with either the Groundlings Theater or with this upcoming production that we need to discuss?
There's a silent auction. There are muffins.
Oh,
yes.
there are muffins. That's right. I completely forgot about that. So how do people get involved with that?
With the muffins? Well, you come and see the show.
How do people get in touch with your muffins is what I want.
Well, my muffins are very exclusive. You have to pay $5 to get in, and then you have to pay some more money to purchase the muffins and do the silent auction and all that.
And is this during the production?
Yes.
Ah,
like
okay.
concessions, bake sale kind of
Concession.
situation.
And who is the baker of the muffins?
She's sitting behind you.
Ah,
Yes.
she is the Jacqueline of all trades.
Yes.
Love it.
Yes.
Love it. And are they different muffins at every performance?
We'll see.
Do we know?
See. I don't know
Do
if
we
we
know
plan that
what
far
the
ahead.
recipes are yet?
What kind of muffins would you?
Whatever the spirit moves her.
Yes.
I love it. So my suggestion is that you go on the website,
Yes.
which is again
CreateWanakee.org.
createwanakee.org.
Yes.
Buy your tickets, only $5. You can go and buy the lovely Deb muffins.
Yes.
Muffins by Deb, which I love, which I'm sure is going to be the next thing that's your next career move.
You know, I don't know if it will be. She's kind of making a face at us like, no.
Well, she's not busy
not gonna
enough, you know.
happen.
She's not doing hardly anything with her days
Yes.
these days.
One of the silent auction items is muffins for 12 months, like a different muffin every month.
Muffin of the Month
Yes.
Club. I love that.
So you should bid on it.
I love that. That's a
Yes.
very cool idea. Good, wonderful.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, and I forgot to say that I'm doing a feminist revenge fantasy version of Dracula this fall at Madison Public Theater, which I'm really excited about.
And that's one of the PTCs at the Bartell Theater. right?
Yes. Yeah, very bloody, very funny.
And
See that too.
when are the auditions for that?
Oh gosh. It's August
Sometime in
11th
August.
and 12th. Yes.
Go on. There's a website I hear
Yes.
that if you go on this website called madstheater.com, I believe it is, and they list everything you always want to know about auditions, about upcoming performances, about where to see this show called Biz Buzz with Bruno.
Yeah.
It's all the stuff you want to know and hear about. And I thank you so much for coming in.
Yeah, thanks for having
being in
me.
our audience today. Go and see the show.
Yes.
It's one of my favorites, The Importance of Being Earnest. And go support this wonderful new theater company and support my lovely, lovely friend Hannah.
Please
And,
come.
yes, please come in there. And thank you so much for waiting for us for a month. And we are back. And again, thank you, Gin Chocolate Bottle Rockets. And thank you, Ben. And welcome, Brett, aboard.
Yay!
Thank you. Yay! And welcome, Deb, aboard from Ed.
What? Yeah,
And thank you to my lovely husband, Jim. So we'll see you next time on Biz Buzz with Bruno.